Welcome to my planting potatoes part 2 video, harvesting. First of all, I must apologise because when I took this video the sound was of a poor quality as it was very windy and the wind was gusting, and I didn't actually realise that until after I've completed the video. So I'm now doing a voiceover. The video clip you can see at the moment are my potatoes at the end of May, 1.5 months since they were planted. This clip shows my potatoes at the end of June. These are my potatoes at the end of July. Now, I didn't bother to earth up these potatoes because there's hardly any sign of any potatoes above ground level. So I took a chance and I just left them as they were. So here we are today, ready to dig my main crop potatoes. I have already dug 4 of these potatoes about a month ago, as my wife had run out of early potatoes. So the first thing I'm going to do is to go round and cut down the foliage from the potatoes. So I'm just cutting back down to ground level. I've now cut back the potato foliage. It's now in the barrow. I will discard of this in a minute. We'll have a quick look round to see how many potatoes have actually popped their heads up above ground level. That one doesn't seem too bad, so I must really eat that one. Let's see if there's any more. Here's a few here. They've gone green, so we'll not be able to eat those at all. I am actually harvesting 51 potatoes today from this bed, and I think there's only going to be about half a dozen to a dozen potatoes with green, which I won't be able to eat. Whether there's any with slug damage or any other damage, we'll find out. It's now time to start digging. Using a raised bed with a wooden frame, I'll find it very difficult to take out that first potato plant with its potatoes, because using the square foot gardening method, the growing of the potatoes will take up most of that square foot. So therefore, where you're going to put your fork. I have already removed the first 4 potatoes in the first row, as obviously I had mentioned earlier, my wife needed some earlier in the year. So I'm going to start digging now. Now I'm trying and do this by holding the camera in one hand. There's a little bit of scab on there, but apart from that, the reason I like Desiree potatoes or Desiree is that they don't really get much, if any, slug damage. So that's why I tend to grow them as my main crop. So these are coming out the first square foot. Not a bad size. Obviously there's some smaller ones here. Okay. They're not bad potatoes.
Again, a lot of people don't grow main crop potatoes in the raised bed system, but I find because I haven't got a membrane under here, I can actually go deeper than the 6 inches, so I don't really have that much of a problem. Let's see if there's any more. Right, what we've got in there so far. So the first square foot has given me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 potatoes. I'll put this back on the tripod and I'll carry on digging. Right, these are the potatoes that I've dug from the row or 4 plants of potatoes using the square foot gardening method. There's a good few pounds there out of the 4 plants, so I'm very happy with those. So I'll carry on digging. Well, I'm halfway through now and I've almost filled this barrow up, so it's not a bad crop. So I've actually dug half of my potatoes, so I'm going to get on with the rest now. See you later. Right, so an hour and a half later I've managed to dig all my potatoes in this bed. As you can see, I've got a nice barrow full. Now all those potatoes are edible. There's a few with some wood lice damage, just a little bit now and again. Now, but if you look in here, this is what I can't use. Now some of these potatoes were showing on the top, so they were gone green like these, but there's a couple that have got a bit of blight, as you can see. So there's only about 4 or 5 potatoes with blight, and the rest were green, or there's a couple quite well damaged, and it's by wood lice. The reason I know that is I caught a couple in there, in some of the potatoes. So they've all been dug. I've got a nice big barrow full of Desiree potatoes, and over the next day or so I will dry these out, sort them into large potatoes for baking, medium size for general purpose, and the small ones I will save, egg size ones I will might save some for next year for planting, and the smaller ones I will just cook them in their skins in garlic and onions and something like that to use them up. Well, here we are at home. These are my potatoes. I've now been sorted and bagged, and I've just weighed them, and I've managed to get 86 pounds of edible potatoes from my crop. The image that follows are my potatoes drying out before they were bagged. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you again soon. Bye for now.